Hello, welcome back to another video. I thought I'd just show you this new exhaust I bought for my KTM 390 Duke. It's by KO and Lightning off eBay. Started off and undoing the clamp at the front of the exhaust using a 6mm hex bit. Just removing the bolt and the spacer. And you just actually have to bend the clamp. It isn't in, so you have to bend it a little bit and just put it at the back out of the way. That's that done. Using a 13mm spanner now and a 12mm socket at the front, and just undoing the exhaust at the back. You can use spanners on this or both sockets. Just undoing that by hand. Just taking the weight of the exhaust now and just undoing the last bolt there, and that's it. There's just 2 bolts for the complete back end of the system off. This is the mid-section part now, I'm just showing you, and this is all the pieces what come with it. A couple of springs, a bolt, some sort of bracket there, maybe that's for a different exhaust, I'm not sure on that. That's the actual mid-section piece there, it's very high quality. This is the exhaust now. I couldn't believe how good this was packaged, it's brilliant. That's the clamp and the rubber. It's just got a protective film on there. And some parts there. There's a couple more springs, bolts, a couple of them tabs. I'm not sure what they actually are, whether hold them on if you want, I'm not sure on that. And this is the silencer section at the back. 2 stickers with it. And the silencer. Absolutely brilliant packaging. Very nice quality. It looks really expensive. And it only cost about £70 delivered, but absolutely brilliant. So baffles there. That's a bolt there, what you can remove the baffles with. That's that done. Just with the midsection now, I'm just going to bolt that on the bike now. Just a little bit of diagram there, how the actual clamp goes over, just so you can see. It isn't flat, it's like a curved shape, and it goes over the join of the older section there. So just bend that back in place now, just till it clamps it. Make sure it's got it's covered all round and not missing off any part. Just placing the spacer back in. I used the original bolts because it hasn't done many miles, so I just kept with the original bolt on that. So just tightening that by hand now. You just want it so it grabs it and that can still spin. I do take it off again later on because I put some thread lock on. But just want to get it on place there. That's it. So make sure it spins round. So I'm done. The back section now. That's another spacer what fits in there. Maybe like an adapter for another exhaust. So just placing it on the midsection now. Keeping the tab in line with the other tab so that ready for the spring. Keeping them in line there. So I'm done. Just trying the bracket now, make sure it fits before fit everything on. Ended up turning it around the other way. It fitted a lot better there. It looked the same, but it just fitted better the other way. That was it. Just make sure I was happy with that. Yeah, I was happy with that. Ended up just tightening that bolt at the bottom there just to secure the exhaust a bit so it wouldn't fall down. Just removing the protective film now and just placing the rubber. What I did, bend it in half first and put the point in the corner so it keeps it all equal. Just a little bit of a diagram there to show you how the rubber fits around the metal. It's sort of split and you just have to fit it around there so it overlaps it, sort of thing there. Bit fiddly, but it does go on okay. Just get like one side at a time on. And just make sure it's all fitted all right. Yeah, that's that done. Just sliding that on the exhaust now. Just placing it behind the clamp. Using one of their nut and bolt there, what's supplied with it. Just putting some thread lock on the thread. We should stop it working loose. Just placing that through the clamp into the bracket. Bit fiddly this is, because you've got to try and squeeze it together and put it through the bolt. It was really tight as well, so I ended up getting these this wrench, putting some tape around the head, stop it scratching it, and that just helped it then. Just tightened it up and the thread sort of went on the bracket so it held it in place. So I can put the nut on. Just putting a washer on first. I said it held it in place then. Then just putting the nut on. We'll just put a bit more thread lock there at the end. You don't need to do this, but it just helps. Stops anything coming loose in there. So just doing that hand tighter for now, just spinning it around, make sure it's to the right place. Just taking the bolt back off now on the clamp. And just put some thread lock on that. I forgot to do it earlier. Just pushing that back in. Just tightening it up by hand. I'm just tightening it back up now using the 6mm hex. I will have to find the torque settings on these. I didn't have them then. I'll just go back over them with my torque wrench. That's that done. Just putting one of the springs now. I didn't have the proper tool to pull these, just had to get some long nose pliers. Very hard to pull, but you need to go behind it, not at the side like I was doing. That one on. And the same underneath. You notice here I was behind this when I was pulling it, so it was a lot easier. But you need the proper tool really, like with a new con. That's that done. I said once everything's in place now, in the right order, you tighten it back up using a 40mm span at the back now and a 6mm hex at the front. And just tightening that up. Find the correct torque setting on this as well. And it's as easy as that, really easy. Decided to put that sticker on it. Just try and line it up best I can there. And that's done. Just removing the baffle now using a 5mm hex bit. pulling that out now with some pliers. What I didn't notice there's a small bolt there with a cap at the end that can be removed, so I presume you can put this baffle back in after, but I never tested that. I didn't notice till days later. Right, just giving you a 3 sound test now. This is standard. This is with the new egg seal started with the Baffle's left end. And this is with the baffles out. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it and hope they can help you if you decide get one, you know, the installation and that, and really impressed with this exhaust. And for, you know, for less than £80, absolutely superb. You know, you can pay a lot more, and I'm not saying they're not very good, but this will do me absolutely fine, and absolutely really pleased to bits with it. And any questions whatsoever, leave it in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you.